I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in. Coming in. Shoot that. Hey, why not? Hey. Yeah. I'm coming in.
Wake 'em up. Wake 'em up. Wake 'em up. Wake 'em up. See him still sleeping, so I had to shake 'em up. Shake 'em up. I kept it too real. I wasn't faking up. My real life was a headline. Your real life got a deadline. My timeline was a hashtag. Your timeline just a hate crime. Coming in hot. Feeling like Pac. Back in 94 when he took 5 shots. Too much drive to ride your wave. Ditch my top and I'm off that lot. Black on black on black on black on black on black on black. You don't have to ball a rap to get them racks on racks. Uber poolers trying to catch my vibe and find my way. Yeah, I know I'm ratchet, but I'm really safe. Hot sauce dripping. Everybody wanna start dipping. First nobody wanna listen. Now everybody pay attention. Now everybody pay a fee. Even Trump gotta take a knee. When the horn blow, y'all gon' see. Make the wall fall down like yee.
Welcome to SEC Fan Talk Live Show. This is we're wrapping up week number 2. This is episode 7 on live show, episode 8 on the podcast. Hey guys, if you are a normal listener on our podcast, we are now recording on Sunday nights between 7:30, 8:30. It's going to change a little bit here and there. We're going to try our best to keep it at 7:30. But if you want to come in and join the show, we just hit us up in the comments. Let us know I want in, and we will put you in the show and allow you to get in, talk about your team, talk about what's going on. Guys, it was a very different week of football.
Not if you're a Tennessee fan. Same stuff, different year.
Oh, well, we won't get into that until it's time to get into that, but we most definitely have something to talk about with Tennessee and their lack of performance yet again.
Yeah, that's what she said.
SEC fans, as always, I'm Brandon Bird here with Luke Alsop. If you're watching on, if you're listening to this, of course, you can't see these names on the screen. But if you're watching tonight, Luke Alsop is dubbed as Joey Freshwater, which has made a very fresh statement on the stage for Ole Miss Rebels. And I do agree with the name. Actually, you know what? I do agree with the name that Brad is using in We Need Casey Clausen.
Yeah. He's the last quarterback we've had at the University of Tennessee.
It's Josh Dobbs did not look horrible in his time.
I mean, he was about as good as Tyler Bray.
No, I'd give him more than that.
No. Nope. What's the? I mean, I don't know the records. We'd have to look them up.
We would have to look it up. That's definitely something we can do coming up. All right, so let's just jump right into SEC Week 2. Okay, we made some predictions. Last week we had special guest Anthony Mitchell on there, who labeled himself as the last LSU fan alive. and after giving a, kudos to UCLA on that week 1 because it was the only good game for the Pac-12, and
that was technically their week 2.
I guess it was. And then jumping into this next week is you had the Ducks come into the shoe and knock off Ohio State, and that was just fantastic.
Yeah, that was a huge win for the Ducks. Huge win to go into the Horseshoe, and they pretty much they didn't dominate Ohio State that entire game, but
answered every time.
Every single time. I mean, what's his name? That was their offensive coordinator at Oregon, who was the head coach at Mississippi State. What was his name? Anyway, I can't think of his name. I just draw a blank. But anyway, he dialed up everything perfectly in that game.
He did.
I mean, it was just a perfect game plan. Perfect game plan. For Moorhead. That's who it was.
Yes.
It was yeah. So Joe Moorhead, yeah, he did a phenomenal job.
Well, jumping into the SEC games, we'll go in the order that we picked them, and as we showed them on the screen last week. Jumping into the first one, Mizzou at Kentucky. We said it was going to be good. Both Brad and myself picked Kentucky to win. I did not expect it to be such a close game up until the end of the fourth quarter there. And Kentucky intercepted the ball several times. And, and Mizzou just somehow managed to come back. Beatty looked good. I like the game.
No, I agree. Basilak, or however you say his name, he was pretty good. I mean, he threw for 4 touchdowns. He did have that one late interception. 294 yards. That's a pretty good week for,
pretty good week. I mean, 34 for 51 is not.
Well.
I
mean, I guess the more you throw it, the more chances you got for somebody catching it. You know what I mean?
That's true. But 4 touchdowns, you can't argue with that. And only 1 interception. That Beatty, that running back, it's quite different from the week before where he had, 200 some odd yards himself.
Yeah.
So in 14 carries, 61 yards, that's only a 4.4 average. His longest was only 14. So they were able to contain him rushing. But receiving, they'd flip it out when he could not get it going on the ground. They just move him to the outside, and he put up 88 yards and a touchdown himself, with 24 being his longest. Levis is how we pronounce his name. Went 10 for 18 for Kentucky, 179 yards and a touchdown.
It's not Levi's.
Levis, I believe, is do it. 206 yards, so opposite for Mizzou from last week, where they did well on the ground. This week, of course, Rodriguez, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns on 27 attempts. His average carry was 7.6 yards. That was awesome.
Yeah, he was on fire. He really showed out on Saturday night. And, Kentucky's going to sneak up on somebody this year.
They'll finish 3rd in the East.
I think you're right about that. I think that's a pretty safe assumption right now. Well, I don't take anything away from Missouri because, Drinkwitz he's doing what he can with what he's got. And so he's kind of moving in the right direction.
Yeah, that's your 4th place in the East this year is Missouri.
Yeah, which, it gives a lot of credit to him. After Barry Odom left, I thought Missouri would just go into the crapper after that. But Drinkwitz has at least kept them at that level or even surpassed that a couple of times,
Let's hit a little bit of their stats as far as leaders, right? Connor Basilak is 4 in the SEC with 551 passing yards. Tyler Beatty is 3rd for rushing, 264 yards.
Wow.
Blaze Aldridge, their linebacker, is tied for 1st with 4 sacks, and also is in 2nd place with 23 tackles. So they're doing very well.
Blaze is a monster. That kid is phenomenal.
I agree. You also got to take into consideration what, the level of competition they've played. I don't know who they played week 1. Obviously, I know it wasn't as good as Kentucky, team, but you got to take that in consideration too. It's not like they're starting out with Chick-fil-A openers. You know what I mean?
The 2 of them did not disappoint. And as the comments come rolling in.
That's
Thank you to Justin Howell.
Hey, well, Luke, before we get moving to the next game, we're going to let Bird have the opportunity to take his statement back that Tennessee will beat Kentucky.
Tennessee's going to beat Kentucky.
Oh, Lord.
Get out of here.
Oh, Lord.
Quit drinking the Kool-Aid. I quit drinking the Kool-Aid years ago.
They're going to. So some Kool-Aid that we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on. Game 2, Mercer getting paid the 1.5 to come into Alabama and get slaughtered.
Yep.
I can't believe Bama didn't go to Mercer. I mean they're 500 seat stadium.
Yeah. They share it with the local high school.
Do you think Mercer Stadium looks better than Vanderbilt's?
Where is Mercer located? Does anybody know?
It doesn't matter. I would still guarantee you it's better than Vandy's.
I'm getting on my phone right now and I'm Googling.
We do not need to know that one. We do not.
It is in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, well, there you go.
Mercer University of Atlanta campus policy. Yep. It's right beside. Yeah, it's in Atlanta.
So they ran for some reason. I guess Young maybe got his helmet knocked off or something. Honestly, guys, I didn't even watch the game because I knew what it was going to be. Young 19 for 27, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rushing. Robinson Jr. with 10 attempts, 70 yards and a touchdown. I mean, they looked good. The passing for Mercer was just 15 attempts from their Peyton. 159 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and then at some point in time, Peavy came in for 3 attempts, and one of those was an interception. So, as usual, Alabama dominates their cupcake game number 2. Actually, that would just be number 1 for them because they started off with Miami.
That's kind of a cupcake game too.
But that one we didn't know.
No.
Oh well.
I mean,
keep it so far, Brad, we're 2 for 2.
Well, sure. I mean, you could ask somebody from China to pick that game and they'd have got it right.
The next one, we all 3 picked Texas last week, and we were all 3 wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What about Hoopig?
That's a statement win.
Taking it to the Longhorns. I mean, I don't know if you watched College Game Day and where he took the Texas helmet off and...
No.
I
didn't watch it.
Threw it down.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not expect it at all.
See, that's why y'all didn't have me on last week. I was definitely going with Arkansas.
Something about internet not working in East Tennessee last week.
Quit busting on East Tennessee, man.
Him. I'm in East Tennessee. My phone's not working.
I can't believe y'all didn't go with the Hogs over Texas.
Guys, Jefferson was 14 for 19, 138 yards, 0 touchdowns. But his, they made it count on the ground. 75 yards for Smith, 73 yards for Jefferson himself, 67 for Green, another 50 for Sanders. Each of those, except for Jefferson, did not score, but the other 4 with a touchdown. They held Card to 8 for 15 and 61 yards.
Yep.
I mean, Arkansas's defense is legit. Like they really are legit. Texas just couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything against Arkansas's defense.
Where do we think that drops Texas to?
Out.
You think so?
Yeah, has to. I mean, LSU got beat by UCLA, out. I mean, I don't think it puts Arkansas in, but it puts them out. I mean, it just shows how much we don't know about Arkansas because we thought Felipe Franks was still the quarterback. So take that for what it's worth.
Texas is out.
Yeah, I mean, they had. I think so. I mean,
no, they're out.
Oh, okay, well,
yeah, that was easy.
I mean, it's like, I mean, they always get the preseason hype kind of like we used to. I don't know what kind of deal with the devil Tennessee and Texas signed in the 90s, early 2000s, because we stink.
Now, I don't know if Bradley knows what this right here is a jab at, but Luke should.
I don't get it.
You can fill them in.
What about the Texas coming up short? See, when I think of Texas, I think of Varsity Blues. And when I think of Varsity Blues, I think, shit, them boys is having the time of their lives.
Wieners on the glass.
Puking her alley. Pen. Give her a pen.
One that where are we at right there? We all picked Auburn to win this game, although I said that they would do it again. I said that a repeat of last week, which was 60-10.
Call them Britney Spears.
And they come in here 62-0. Anthony Mitchell said that they can't do that 2 weeks in a row, and that it would be 48 to something. But
I don't even remember what I picked. I just don't like Bo Nix.
Auburn's got their foot on the gas. Let's see what happens next week with them, which we'll go over a little bit later.
Yeah.
I mean, Bo Nix was only 9 for 17 for 108 yards. Take that for what it's worth. Wasn't him that was hanging us points.
Maybe before week.
Did you actually call him by his actual name?
Bo Nix, excuse me. He didn't throw any picks.
That's the first time I've ever heard you.
Yeah, I called him Bo Nix. Yeah, I mean, give credit where credit's due. You beat Alabama State.
Well, week 1, he deserved to have his name right. We'll see as he enters in conference play.
Third best in the West.
He's not going to have to wait till conference play.
Fourth, maybe fourth best.
To regain that title of bum.
I don't know if I can post that one, Justin. he went with he went with another line from Varsity Blues.
I thought that. See, when I think of that, I think of Super Troopers.
Oh, so of course I have Florida as my East leader, but I don't know if they're gonna. I just don't know it.
No,
I'm kind of pulling back now. They're not looking great. They have said that they're gonna go ahead and name Emory Jones their starter once more. Although they walk away with a win, it was not exciting. I did like their uniforms.
Who, Florida?
Yeah.
They've done that in the past, have they not, with the American flag and the Gators?
Hey, well, they did it.
I mean, it kind of clashes with their orange, so I say no. It's tacky.
Yeah, they had what, 600 yards of offense or something like that in the game.
I can tell you real quick.
But it was South Florida, and now the whole quarterback controversy has begun yet again in Gainesville. But what I've seen what Richardson has done, I think that Mullen just continues to play both quarterbacks all season. I don't see how he can get away from it now.
I mean, who was the preseason guy? Since you're, Florida man here, you're the Gator baby.
I mean,
who's the preseason guy?
I mean, Emory Jones was the clear cut. I mean, he was the clear starter. And honestly, I think he should remain the starter, even though that's going to go to the chagrin of a lot of Florida fans. But Emory Jones, he took a lot from Trask. He could have transferred last year. He had a lot of offers to go to a lot of different places. And, give the kid credit. He didn't transfer. He bided his time. He did what he was supposed to do. He sat on the sidelines. He kept his mouth shut, and he watched Trask. And when it was time for him to come in, he came in. And, I think that says a lot about who the kid is. And, I think he deserves a little bit more leash than what a lot of Florida fans are willing to give him.
I mean, he did throw 2 picks.
Yeah, he
saying.
did. I mean, I mean, in all fairness, he has not looked great. I mean, he's made some really bad decisions, but Mullen just kept making him throw the ball because when you've got Alabama coming up and you've got the SEC schedule, those guys have got to be ready to play. Like they have no other choice. So if you're gonna screw up and you're gonna have a bad game, you want to do it against South Florida, like because your run game is strong enough where if you need to, you can score whenever you really want to. But they're gonna have to. Jones is gonna have to. He is gonna be on a short leash. He's if Alabama comes out and
That's
just
I can't wait to do the predictions on that one.
I'll save that for later. But yeah, I think Jones is deserving of a little bit longer leash than what a lot of people are wanting to give him.
I have no comment.
We'll
I didn't watch the game.
I didn't watch this one right here because I knew what bloodbath this would be. We actually picked this. You had 42-0, Brad.
For who? What game? What game we talking about?
The one that's on the screen, Georgia and UAB.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I got something else brought up. Sorry.
I had 38-7. Anthony had 38-14.
I almost called it.
You almost had it.
I didn't watch it. I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, they scored that garbage time touchdown in the fourth.
So
I didn't.
Of course, JT Daniels was out this game. They bring in Stetson Bennett. He went 10 for 12, 288 yards and 5 touchdowns, an average of 24 yards per pass. Meanwhile, the UAB, Johnston III went 6 for 14, 39 yards total.
He's probably the heir of the ring company for the Clash rings.
With 3 interceptions.
What do you expect? We didn't know.
So,
we know where UAB is just because where we live, but a lot of people don't know.
I'm assuming that they got on the board with a defensive move.
Hold on, fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was fourth quarter. It was garbage time. It was Swoop's 60-yard interception return, 61-yard.
That's a tough name. It's a tough name.
They would have been laid a big goose egg if it wasn't for the last minute garbage time return.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's nothing really else to talk about it. I mean, shout out Chase Martin, alumnus.
I can't believe they even wasted the airtime to put that on TV.
Oh, the Georgia boosters wanted that. They had to get him some FaceTime for the Varsity restaurant that's trash in that area.
It is trash.
Yeah, both of them.
So,
what do you have? What do you have? What do you have?
Game 7, McNeese at LSU. I had this one at 35-10.
Oh.
Yeah.
What I have?
You had 28-14.
Okay.
And he had 24-14. After losing, they had to come in, and you're not making a statement against McNeese, right? But
how much did LSU play the quarterback at McNeese?
And Luke may not know this, but the quarterback at McNeese is Ed Ogeron's son.
Yeah, boy, when you showed up to play this Saturday, you better not make me look bad.
I do that alone by myself.
We cook that gumbo after the game. We'll bring your friend, bring your team to the house. We cook the gumbo. We have a good time.
Does he also have a translator that comes out on the field with him to interpret the plays for the offensive line?
I think McNeese is in the state of Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
I think it is.
So they understood each other.
Oh, yeah. They speak coon ass.
I couldn't tell you where it is.
Max Johnson goes 18 for 27, 161 yards, and 3 touchdowns. While Ogeron went 10 for 20, 91 yards and a touchdown. Plenty of people carrying the ball for LSU. Kiner went 56 yards. Davis Price with 37. Goodwin with 23. Only Kiner with a rushing touchdown. And then Beck actually did better than Boutte. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah, it's Butte. Yeah.
57 yards for Beck, 31 for Butte, but he brought him in with the touchdowns. He is definitely someone that
He's got the hands. He's got the hands.
He does. I'd like to see him at maybe somewhere that could go into the postseason, like Alabama.
No. I mean, he'll stay there. I mean, his last name is French. He plays at LSU. Unless it's like Booty, and he just churches it up a little bit.
Game 8, NC State traveling to Mississippi State. You and I both had NC State winning this game. I really thought that they would have. Anthony picked Mississippi State because he lives very close. Pick them to win it, and they did. They came out and played and needed to after barely winning last week. Anyone watch that one?
No.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch it either.
I mean, I got the stats here if you need it.
Rogers went 33 for 49, 294 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The not looking good on rushing. Johnson.
They tried to run it 12 times, not counting the quarterback.
not counting the quarterback trying and getting just beat up. 12 times for 29 yards. The rushing was just.
Yeah, because they use the screen as their rushing. They bubble screen, bomb, bubble screen, bomb. That's how they do it. Bubble screen, flea flicker.
It's going to be a long year for Mississippi State, I'm afraid.
What do you mean?
I don't think Mississippi State's got a whole lot to look forward to this season.
I mean, I know a lot of the teams in the SEC is way worse off than them.
Yeah.
You got in mind?
I mean, at this moment, I don't want to say.
Anybody in particular?
I just know that we're lucky enough to live in a state that has the 2 worst SEC teams in the whole league. They are in the same state.
Speaking of a Tennessee team getting beat, Game 9, Austin Peay travels to Ole Miss.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, we all three picked, of course, Ole Miss to win that one. Do we even go into anything on that one?
I'm sure they flip and flung it around.
It's, Matt Corral, it was amazing.
He's a baller.
He really is. You had 21 for 33, 281 yards, 5 touchdowns for Matt Corral. Dent came in, went 2 for 2 as well. Plumlee, who was a quarterback in high school and in college, of course, which now is a wide receiver, took a snap.
Where did he come from, Jordan Plumlee? Where did he transfer from?
I don't know.
Or has he always been at Ole Miss?
I think he's always been at Ole Miss.
I think he's always been at Ole Miss. Yeah.
Oh.
You know that he is. They say the fastest player in the entire conference.
Is he really?
That kid's got wheels on him, boy. That kid can move.
As far as wide receivers goes, Drummond is amazing.
Yeah,
and we have a lot to see from him this year.
And we get to play them. Great.
So we on this one here, South Carolina. You actually picked the upset, Brad, for East Carolina.
I mean, I know. I got close. It was close.
I picked South Carolina 21-17.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm telling you, I was on the picks. Yeah. I was on the picks last week.
Wait till we get to the Tennessee game.
And
Bird, you should have got on DraftKings this past weekend.
Yeah, I could have made some money.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk about this game. South Carolina wins it by a field goal. It says a lot for their season this year.
East Carolina is in the ACC. You don't forget that. I mean, you forget that.
Yeah. But there's only one team I pay attention to in the ACC.
Who, Clemson?
Yeah. Is there anyone else to pay attention to?
Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech, I'm telling you.
Every once in a while, Virginia Tech.
I mean, North Carolina's got a decent team this year. I think they slipped up that first week.
No.
Miami.
But, I mean,
No.
we can
that
talk
was-
about how bad Florida State is.
Oh yeah, we
I
can't
mean,
talk about
used
that.
to be a powerhouse, right?
It's about as much as like we did. Like
Yeah.
they signed the same contract we did.
Notre Dame.
Are they technically? Well, I mean, are they?
Yeah.
Yes, they are in football.
Well, I mean, they're in the top 10.
That garbage school. They're garbage.
Well, let's go right into garbage.
Oh, you're really good on the. You're caveating in the things really good in that, Bird.
I can transition like nobody's business. Game 11, Pittsburgh traveling to Tennessee. My only thing is, I said, if Tennessee plays like they played against Bowling Green, they will go down against Pitt. Guess what they did?
Play worse.
They played like they played against Bowling Green, and they went down. For Josh Heupel, here's a direct message to you, buddy. If Joe Milton III couldn't make it at Michigan, why do you think that he can make it in the SEC?
Well, I mean, it is Tennessee.
Hendon Hooker could not make it at Virginia Tech.
He looked better than Milton.
What he did, maybe you try him and you start him out. Now, all you have left is Harrison Bailey, who has SEC experience, but
And he's a Tennessee man.
he's committed, and he's going to be there for the long haul. And maybe as he becomes a junior, senior, he's been coached up enough. After Milton threw the third overthrow in a row, you either stop letting him throw deep or you sit him down altogether.
I mean, his arm is the reincarnation of Jamarcus Russell.
I mean,
50 yards from his knees.
you would think as a 6-year player he would have an arch now, and he doesn't.
He's got hands of stone. Is
now
what that is.
Now from 5 to 20 yards out, as long as you got gloves and some sticky stuff on you, like from little giants, you can catch the. You can catch the ball because it's coming in fast. But when you're consistently throwing the ball 5 to 10 yards past your wide receiver because you're such a flat trajectory on it, you stop giving him that chance. It's going to make you look bad, and it made him look bad. Injuries also hurt Tennessee on this one really bad.
Yeah, you about to hit me with a referee line too.
They were already they were already missing Evans. Small goes out. Yeah, I do need to give some credit where credit's due. Defense looked amazing.
They gave up 41 points.
When you're on the field, as much as they were on the field,
Peyton Manning's best friend.
and not
That's all I heard about from ESPN.
and not have you're on the field as much as you're on, and you don't have the depth that a lot of other schools do. I think the defense played well. Now, we knew their defense was going to give up points, but the offense was supposed to counter that, right? Josh Heupel, lots of points on the board.
I mean, let's think of some more excuses for Tennessee. Oh, they had 78 players transferred. What does that mean? Oh, everybody was hurt. Oh, the referee don't know what a first down is. We just stink. Second to last in the East.
That, yeah, there was
we have no running game. None. Zero.
I
Zero.
think it was only like 82 yards.
I mean, I know what's his name was hurt. I mean, like everybody was hurt. I mean, Milton, he can stay hurt.
Milton, he can stay hurt. Hooker goes 15 for 21, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. Milton 7 for 12, 50 yards, 0 TDs. Of course, Hooker did come in and before he.
I mean, did you see Milton get lit up? Helen Keller could have saw that rush, and he got lit. Lit up.
That's Milton's. That's his thing. He has no awareness, none.
Milton, throw ball far. Throw ball far. Throw ball hard. I mean,
What's sad is, with all this and Milton going out, he also led the team in rushing yards, 54. Hooker, who has moves when he's running the ball,
Josh Dobb-esque.
had 40. Yeah, yes, very much so. So you said Peyton Manning's best friend Pickett was 24 for 36, 285 yards and 2 touchdowns. Looked good, and they had some big receiving yards. Mack with 100, his longest being 31. I mean, they came to play, and we said that they were going to come to play. And and Tennessee had fourth quarter last minute opportunity to come back and tie it, and just couldn't do it.
I mean, Cry Me a River, same story. It happens every time like this. Games that were maybe supposed to win, I didn't think we would win. I mean, the fan base at the end. I mean, the teams of old should have no problem with. But when it gets to crunch time, we wither under the pressure.
You and Anthony both picked Pitt to win that game.
What score did I put on it?
23-21.
Nah, pretty much the same.
One that we all picked A&M to win this game, but we were all 48-17. You were 42-21. Talk about embarrassment.
Well, I mean, you do have to admit, though, that their star quarterback got hurt on the second drive of the game.
Yep.
And this poor kid, what was his, Calzano or something like that? That kid comes in. I think he's been on campus for all of about a month. So he had no expectations of playing this year. And behind him was a walk-on. So, if they can't get King back healthy next week, like A&M is in some serious trouble.
What happened? What did they say? What he was hurt? Did they say?
I didn't see the exact play that he got hurt, but I think he hurt his ankle. It was bad enough to keep him out of the game and in the locker room for basically the entirety of the rest of the game. I think those scores that you guys picked were a lot more realistic if King stays in that game. The two things that I took away from the A&M game, because I watched the majority of it, or almost all of it.
He only got 2 passes out.
Yep. 1 for 2 for 8 yards.
Yeah, he got hurt on the second drive of the game. The two things that I took away from that game is one, Texas A&M's defense. They're legit. Like they can take that team a long way. I don't think Texas A&M, if King comes back, they're not going to have to score but about 28 points. I think they can beat just about anybody, and that's including Alabama. That defense they are very, very talented. But I think the thing that surprises me the most is the fact that the lack of quarterback depth on that team. It's like Jimbo had no contingency plan whatsoever. Like he was just going to roll with King, and so you're not even taking into account that this kid might get hurt at some point during the season. And that the poor kid that came in and took over for him, he was a deer in headlights for 3.5 quarters. And then, give credit where credit's due. I mean, the kid sucked it up, and he did just enough to beat him. But I mean, yeah, and I mean,
he got the win. They got the win.
He got the win. He did. They got the win on the road, and the fact that behind him, I mean, you have no other option. I mean, you've got to walk on. So Texas A&M better hope that King comes back, and he comes back in a big hurry. Because if not, they're going to be in trouble.
I agree, Luke.
Speaking of, well, this one's not trouble. I can't really segue into this one, but we'll move on to the next game because Luke spelled it all out for that one. We said this one was going to be a battle of the kickers. Both you and I picked Colorado State to win it, and Anthony picked Vandy He said 14-7. You said 21-3. I thought you said Vandy was 0. You did give them 3.
Yeah.
And I said 28-14. So I was a little closer.
I'm an eye test guy, so now that they've passed the eye test, they're going to get more respect when I make the picks.
Okay.
Maybe 6 points next time.
How good did Seals do on that game?
Let me pull up the box score here because once again I didn't
look
watch
at you.
it.
You look at you.
I had it earlier. Seal was 27-42, 27-42, 238 yards, 2 TDs, no interception. He had an average of 5.7 yards per attempt.
That's not bad.
Colorado State.
I mean, considering it's Vandy. I mean,
that's the best quarterback they've had since Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
I ain't saying much, but
Nah. Give a man a pack of Marlboros and let him go out there and fling the ball around.
Before we get into predictions, let's go ahead and hit a little quiz time. Y'all ready?
Uh-oh. Hit me with the Jeopardy music.
Well, don't have that queued up. Maybe for the podcast. If it was to the podcast, it's because I went ahead and edited it in.
Or you can maybe do like Family Feud. Survey says.
Passing yards. Who leads the SEC in passing yards?
I got to go with Bryce Young.
Ooh. Bang. Don't you be looking it up.
Oh, he's cheating. Oh, Casey Clausen over there is cheating. He's damn sure cheating.
All my life, I'm not cheating. I was going to say the guy from Missouri, whatever his name is.
Connor Bazelak.
Oh, no,
if you were listening earlier, I said he was fourth.
I know that, but I was like...
Matt Corral. It's got to be Corral.
No.
It's Bo Nix.
No. It is Will Rogers from Mississippi State, 664 yards in your defense there, Luke. Matt Corral is just 2 yards behind him. So in third is Bryce Young.
Who is dead last?
Oh.
Milton.
JT
That's what
Daniels.
I was going to say. For starters.
Well, Daniels was a starter week 1.
I know.
Zach Calzada from A&M is 14. Joe Milton is 13. Emory Jones is 12.
Oh, bueno.
No good. Rushing yards, guys. Who leads the league in rushing yards? I'll give you a hint. One hint. It is no one in the state of Alabama.
It has to be the guy from Kentucky.
Bing, bing, bing. Chris Rodriguez Jr., 331 yards.
Hey, how about you?
Second to him is Anthony Richardson. 275 yards. In receiving yards, we won't do a quiz on this one, but I said his name earlier with Drummond. He is leading the league in receiving yards. Andre Anthony from LSU leading in or tied with sacks. We said with Blaze Aldridge.
Tough name.
Tackles. Hey, here's the first time you're going to see a Tennessean leading.
Giving up the most tackles?
No.
Most sacks?
Theo Jackson has 22 tackles.
I mean, you could if you seen that one play I think it was the third quarter. We looked the laughing stock of the freaking. I mean, only in Tennessee can you miss that many tackles on that receiver.
Who has put up the most points?
Auburn.
It's actually no. Individual players.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with Corral again.
That's who I would guess too.
Not quarterback. There's no quarterbacks are on here. Actually, good Lord, you look at total points, scoring statistics. Chris Rodriguez Jr. total points 30, tied for Boutte from LSU, and then we get into a whole bunch of kickers. Riker, Little, Carlson, Costa, York from LSU.
Jeff Hall.
We get another wide receiver from, and then Tennessee shows up on the list with their kicker Chase McGrath putting up 18.
I mean, that's kicker you, punter you. When's the next Colquitt coming through?
Let's look at some teams. See if you can guess this. A total This would be total yards. Total yards.
Which team leads in total yardage?
Which team leads in total yards?
Has to be Auburn.
No.
Hmm?
No.
I'm gonna keep going with Ole Miss. I mean, surely to God.
You're going to hit it one of these times.
Ole Miss is in second.
Mississippi
I mean,
State.
golly.
Mississippi State.
No.
Arkansas.
No.
Total yards.
Total yards.
Maybe Florida.
Florida.
On that two game brutal schedule
Tw-
they've had so far.
1,200.
A little off topic here. Do any of y'all have a Sunday Night Football in the background? Have you seen the Rams Stadium? It's pretty wild.
I'm sorry, I don't watch NFL.
Oh, I'm a Titans guy. Let's not even talk about that.
What's the NFL? Is that part of the NHL? Is that?
Let's go ahead and roll here into week 3 schedule. Wrap this dude up here.
Ooh, lordy.
I'm gonna write down. Okay. First game, Alabama at Florida. Guys,
You got to hit me with the CBS music on that one. That's CBS game of the week.
Alabama at Florida, of course. I've already wrote down my pick. And I got Alabama 48-14.
Oof.
You want me to go next, Luke, so you can, preach about it after I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I also have Alabama, but I got them 35-21.
Maybe I should have got 17.
I think that's pretty close. I mean, it depends. I mean, who knows what Florida team is going to show up? Everybody knows that Alabama's the better team.
I mean, it is in the swamp. It is in the swamp.
It is, but at the same time, Alabama is just a superior team. I mean, no Florida fan can legitimately argue that Florida is a better team than Alabama. Could they get lucky and beat them? Of course. I mean, of course.
Arkansas beat Texas. Arkansas beat Texas.
I think that was a lot easier to predict than Alabama getting beat by Florida. But I think
no, it was not.
Have you seen the last 2 presidents we've had? Crazier things have happened.
I'm going to take. I think Alabama is gonna win this one. I think it's going to be a 41-28 ball game.
Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama.
South Carolina, Georgia. I'll go ahead and write. I'll go ahead and write GA by all of our names here.
Oh yeah,
because I know we're all picking that.
28-7 Georgia.
That's it? You think they only put up 28?
Yep.
I'm saying 35-10.
You took my score.
That's okay. I can put you down for the same.
No, I'm gonna have to go with something different. I'm gonna go.
Throw me a safety in there. Throw me a safety.
I'm gonna go 32-12. There we go.
There it is.
Lord.
And I tell you what, 2 of those touchdowns from Georgia are going to be defensive touchdowns.
Oh yes.
Over under 1 punt blocked by South Carolina. Beamer ball 2.0.
I tell you what, I got so excited when Tennessee started out with a block punt.
I mean, yeah, that gets you real excited until you see the rest of the game.
And then the next play, you're like, crap. Georgia Southern at Arkansas. I tell you what, if Arkansas...
Is this a team that beat Tennessee a couple years ago?
It is.
Oh, watch yourself.
So Arkansas, is feeling high on the hog.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
What do you think about that one? What do you think about that one?
Tons of pun. They're in hog heaven. Do we want to say they're in hog heaven? We can go all day.
They are high on the hog, and if they play down, quote, to Georgia Southern.
If they get in the mud, if they play in the mud with them, so keep it going.
You never know.
In the mud,
I'm still going to go Arkansas.
Yeah.
28-7. I said I'm gonna go 21-10.
I'm gonna go 27-6.
Is that a missed field goal, or is that a missed extra point or 2 field goals for the
That's 2 field goals.
Okay.
That's two
Brad, what
field
was your?
goals.
I said 28-7.
Okay.
I think. I don't remember. I think.
This is going to be actually a really, really good game here, and we get to see if Auburn. They're not going to put up another 60, but Auburn at Penn State. What a awesome game that is going to be.
Yeah, we're gonna find out on Saturday if Auburn is for real or not.
Yes, we are.
I mean, honestly, I don't think they are.
Or you're going to find out. You're going to find out if Penn State is real, because they could be a bunch of fraud bums too.
Yeah, that's true. That's totally that's fair.
Penn State with a whiteout. Is it going to be a whiteout game?
It's got to be.
Oh
yeah.
boy.
Yeah, it's going to be a whiteout game.
I hear an upset coming.
I mean, is anybody from Auburn going to dress up as Joe Paterno?
What about Jerry Sandusky?
Too soon. Too soon.
Someone from Alabama is going to go up there with like little kids
in
their shirts.
It's the same kind of guy.
Or a shower scene or something.
I mean, does Auburn have fans like the guy from Alabama that poisoned the tree? They have to, right?
Oh, they do. They like to pretend that they don't, but they do.
They're the classier school of Alabama.
So, Luke, are you picking an upset? And I guess I wouldn't call it an upset, but are you picking non-SEC?
I am, because until I see different from Auburn, just because what Auburn's done in these last 2 cupcake games means nothing to me.
That's true.
Like Penn State is a talented team. They're going to be playing at Penn State, and Penn State's going to be fired up for this game. And I'm going to go. I think it's going to be a good game, regardless. But I'm going to go with Penn State in this game. Penn State. I'm going to go. Let's see. I'm going to say it's going to be 27-21 Penn State.
That'll be the high scoring game for a school out of the Big Ten all year if they score 28.
Oh, I think your boy Bum is going to at least have a fumble or 1 turnover that is going to result that he's going to turn the ball over on their own yard, on their own 20 or something during the game, and Penn State's going to capitalize on it.
So who's Penn State's quarterback? Do they have any good quarterback play? I mean, obviously the high scoring team in the Big Ten is Ohio State, and they got worked by Oregon last week.
So exciting.
I mean, I want to give credit where credit is due. As much as I hate Bo Nix,
you're going to Auburn.
I think he shines finally. I think they win. I think it's actually a pretty easy win. I'm gonna give it 35-10 Auburn.
Damn.
Ooh, I picked 35-21 Auburn. I was not expecting 35-10.
It's possible. It's possible.
You can never tell about a Big Ten school. You can never tell. Do they just play old smash mouth football just because it's fun to talk about, with Iowa State and Penn State playing one another? Yeah, or not. I mean, Iowa. Let's go out there and put the lineman in there and let's run it for 2 yards, and then three.
I will tell y'all this: if there's a serious question about any school in the SEC right now, I think it's Auburn. Like, how good are they really? And this is going to be the biggest test of all the schools. Auburn, we get to find out on Saturday.
Don't let me down, Bo.
Don't let me down.
You called him Bo again.
Bo. Chattanooga at Kentucky.
Next.
I'm going to go 42-7 Kentucky.
Chattanooga puts 14. That's 35-14 Kentucky.
Yeah, I think 30. I'm gonna go 35-10 Kentucky.
He just can't say double me. He has to.
He's
got to change it up. Central Michigan comes back to face another SEC opponent. Who they play?
Missouri.
That sounds right.
I mean, that's up in the Great White North. I consider Missouri Great White North. I don't know why they're in the SEC anyway. It's neither here nor there.
I mean, the Chippewas.
That's where Larry came from, right?
Yeah, Missouri.
Mr. Jones, Bush Jones. This was his name, Larry. That's Chipper Jones. That's Chipper Jones. His name's Larry. Excuse me. But didn't Bush Jones come from Central Michigan?
No, Cincinnati.
But before Cincinnati.
Oh, he could, yeah, probably. Central Michigan and LSU. Got to go LSU here.
I mean, do you though?
Yes.
28-21 LSU.
Luke.
Ooh. I'm gonna go 21-13.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I'm scoring 28.
Mississippi State at Memphis, which could actually turn out to be a pretty good game.
Memphis is coming in mad because they didn't get added to the Big 12 or Pac-12 or whatever it is.
I'm going Mississippi State. What about you guys?
I mean, they're going to throw it. They're going to try to throw it 60 times probably.
Oh yeah.
Is Penny Hardaway coaching the football team too?
See,
I mean,
hopefully he's not teaching the football team to flop, because his first year in teaching the Tigers how to flop on the court, they looked horrible.
I mean, this is the play. They play in the is that the Liberty Bowl? Is that where they play?
Yeah.
They need to go. They need to play on the inside of the Bass Pro Shop there. They can probably make that happen. Inside the pyramid, they can make that happen.
Have you ever been in there?
Oh, I opened that store up when I worked for the company.
Oh, Lord.
Has he been there? Come on now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Look at his glasses. I mean, he's been to Bass Pro. He's probably his glasses are sponsored by Bass Pro.
I've been to plenty NASCAR races too. So hate me if you know. But I go Mississippi State 31-10.
I'm gonna go 28-21 Mississippi State.
And I'm just throwing BS numbers out there. I have no idea.
Southeast Missouri State.
We can confirm that there's more than one school in the state of Missouri.
State of Missouri. Southeast Missouri State at Missouri. So I've got to give Missouri credit here, because I think they pull a Auburn on this one, and I think they go 60-10.
Ooh.
Over under $900,000 is as much as they're paying them. I'm going to take the under on that. I'd say it's 42-0. 42-0.
And Joey Freshwater.
I'm gonna go 38-3. 38-3 Missouri.
We're talking a bunch of games that we're not going to watch. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
We are
right.
most definitely not going to watch that game.
Is that garbage even going to be on TV?
I mean, I don't even know how many games I'm going to watch next week because I'm going to be NASCAR racing.
I mean, the rest of the games are garbage. There's 3 good games next week.
Yeah.
There's 3 good games.
What didn't Tulane start out the year preseason ranked?
They almost won last week.
Who'd they play?
Wasn't it Oklahoma? Barely beat him.
Oh,
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Boomer Sooner.
So Ole Miss is definitely going to beat the crap out of Tulane.
We got the battle of the book nerds, the battle of the bookworms, Vanderbilt, Stanford.
Who y'all got at what? Not who do you have? How bad do you have Ole Miss beating Tulane? I'm 48-10.
That's about right.
I think Tulane might actually be able to put some points up against them.
I did. I said 10.
You didn't ask how many points. Just
I mean, I'm gonna say Ole Miss 48-24.
I was writing it before you said it.
I'm going to give them 52-21.
No way.
You don't think so?
There's no way. Neither one of y'all. Both of y'all are wrong. Tennessee Tech at Tennessee.
There's another $1.5 million game.
You know what's bad about this is if no one comes back from injury, or even if Milton does,
I don't want him back.
um,
Put him in at like linebacker or tight end.
I'm giving Tennessee the win on this, but it's not pretty. 28-21.
You think it's going to be that close
Yep.
with the Golden Eagles, Tennessee
Yep.
Tech?
Yep.
I mean, are they in the OVAC?
Yeah. Maybe 17 for them. Maybe not 21. Maybe 17.
But I mean, you gave our defense all the praise in the world earlier, so
I did. I did.
I mean,
And
I was going to give it 28-10.
I think it's our offense that gives up some picks.
I feel like our size is eventually going to take run a school like that down. I mean, our offensive line might stink in the SEC when it comes to relatively speaking in the SEC,
Mm-hmm.
but you know them big old boys is bigger than what the Tennessee Tech's going to do.
I agree.
I'm going to give it 28-10, Tennessee.
28-10.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going to go 28-21
And
Tennessee.
it might be close at halftime.
Oh,
I think-
he's riding me. There
Yep.
we go.
I think Tennessee Tech, or who are they playing?
Tennessee Tech.
Tennessee Tech. Yeah,
Golden Eagles.
I think Tennessee Tech might actually be ahead in the third quarter.
Tennessee
Yeah.
Tech really has a very good football program. I mean, baseball program. Excuse me.
Yeah,
And
they-
agriculture as well.
New Mexico at Texas A&M.
that might be enough to beat Tennessee. That game, it's all about whether or not King is going to be back for that game.
Even.
I mean, they're going to win regardless. But as far as what the point score is
if
going to
they're
be,
back
in that
up,
game.
this is the perfect game to train
Get-
get their backup ready.
To get him
Yeah.
some reps.
Yeah,
I'm going 35-10 A&M.
That's about right. That's what I was going to go with, 35 or 38-10. Yeah, 35-10, whatever. I'm checking my fantasy football team right now.
Glad that you
I'm a-
multitask.
I'm gonna go 24-7 in that game. If King is back, it's going to be 42-7.
And last but most definitely least is the Stanford at Vandy. And I cannot believe that I'm doing this, but I just wrote Vanderbilt's name down.
Oh, that's a Freudian slip. Those real smart guys know what that means. That's what that is. You already you spoke into existence, so you got to pick Vanderbilt now, regardless.
21-17.
Woo. I'm gonna go with Vandy too. I'm gonna go with Vandy too. I mean, they're probably not gonna win.
No,
but
I mean
I'm at least
Vanderbilt.
gonna go with the conference. So.
I'm not going to pick Vanderbilt the rest of the year because they got beat by East Tennessee State. I don't care if I miss them every single time, and I remember the day that Stanford was good.
So you're going
Oh, yeah.
Stanford.
Yeah, I'm going Stanford 28-17.
Joey Freshwater, what's your number?
I'm just going with Vandy because I refuse to root for a California team.
Who says I'm pulling? I'm
So-
not pulling for a California team.
Yeah, I can't even say that they're going to win.
I'm just telling you who's going to win.
It's going to be it's going to be a high scoring game. I'm going to say it's going to be 17-13 Vandy.
But the institutions are great here. Stanford, Vanderbilt, no better in the nation.
Before we sign off here, I do want to hit y'all up with the AP poll week 3.
Mhm.
Of course, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma rule the top. Oregon moved themselves up to number 4.
Understandably
Go Ducks.
so. Understandably.
Go
No, don't even
Ducks.
start that. Did you go to that game when they played at UT? Because I was there in the lightning storm.
And,
We got
pouring
worked.
down rain.
Yeah, we got worked.
I'm just happy that they beat Ohio State. Iowa to number 5. Clemson somehow still holds on to 6. Texas A&M somehow holds on to 7.
I mean, until they lose, you can't really take it away from them.
That's true.
Yeah, I tell you what. Just as a side note, for all the Ohio State and Clemson fans out there, if you're going to lose, They lost at the best possible time.
The first of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Hey.
first of the year to a ranked team, and I guarantee you that one, if not both of those teams, are going to be in the playoffs.
Are you speaking
Coming into the
LSU?
season.
Are you speaking LSU and Tennessee fans too? Because we lost at the first of the year.
No, that doesn't hold the same for y'all. I mean,
So, where was I at? Number 8, Cincinnati. So there's I'm not going to go through the whole list. There's 7.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, at 8. Ohio State at 9. Penn State is 10. So that game is going to be so much fun. 7 teams from the SEC are in. Of course, Alabama, Georgia. We'll go ahead and say the 2022 Oklahoma. More than 7 teams.
No. We don't want. They're not in there yet. They haven't. They haven't been take the initiation yet.
Florida have moved up from 13 to 11. Ole Miss, of course, is in it. And Arkansas is ranked number 20. Auburn, 22.
Par for the course. Teams that are normally up there. Besides
Go
Arkansas.
Hogs, man. Look at them.
Living high on the hog.
Go Hogs. Out of the trough and into ranked.
I can't believe they hadn't ranked Notre Dame number 1 yet. I mean, after the 2 dominating performances they've had in the first 2 weeks.
Well, they go in there and they say 7 Hail Marys. And
They're ranked 12th. And I could hear all the sarcasm in your voice on that one.
Rudy.
God, they're such garbage. I hate them. I hate them so much.
Who do you hate more? Ohio State. Here's the 3 teams that I feel like.
Notre Dame. I'll go ahead and tell you. It's Notre Dame. I hate them more than anybody you're going to name.
Tennessee?
I hate them. By far.
Florida
By
State?
far. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would
Really?
definitely root for Florida State. And I hate them as well. But Notre Dame.
He's all against touchdown Jesus.
I mean, I love Jesus.
I can't. Oh, I do too, but I can't say what I really want to say on this podcast about Notre Dame because it would get flagged in a second.
The movie really
might give me
fantastic.
We would have to mark this particular episode as explicit.
Explicit.
Oh, not only that, I'd probably get a phone call from the Homeland Security saying that I was making threats against the University of Notre Dame if they really.
So what you're saying
really
is,
wanted to-
so what you're saying is you'd pull for Putin before you would Notre Dame.
Oh, of course.
Okay,
Of course.
I see.
Yeah.
I know where you're
Absolutely.
coming from. I'm picking up what you're saying.
Yeah.
now.
And so, wait a minute. Here's the real question, and we do not get political on this show.
No, not at all.
You would vote for Biden
Ooh,
over
Kelly.
cheer for
Over
Notre
Kelly.
Dame. I was hoping to get you.
That's
to
not
spit
a
out
really
your-
good. That's not a real good analogy.
No, I was hoping to get him to spit out his water with that one.
Yeah. I started to feel physically ill whenever you mentioned those 2 teams.
Well, if you would take the shot, you wouldn't be physically ill. There you go. Just did it. I did it. I crossed the line. I hit you with it.
Oh
We might have to cut that out for the podcast.
no, not at all. Matter of fact, I may make a short out of it. Put it on as a teaser.
Notre Dame. Yeah, I'll do my own little side project on Notre Dame.
There
See,
you
I
go.
think I hate Michigan more.
Well,
Oh, I hate them too, but
see how Michigan does without Harbaugh next year, if he even
It
makes
can't
it.
get any worse.
if he makes it through this year.
They're in the same boat as Tennessee. Come on in. Water's fine.
Listeners, watchers, we want to thank you for joining us today. If whoever your social media outlet is, we're all the same at SEC Fan Talk. Look us up on secfantalk.com as well. Join the show, join the conversation. We sent out a couple invites for people who are interested today and didn't.
We're a bunch of losers. Nobody likes us. It's okay.
Says the man in the Hooter shirt.
Hey. Delightfully tacky.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week and have a great weekend. Of course, hey, if you're listening on the podcast, sorry for the double one again. Once again, this one will drop tomorrow for the result of last week. Wednesday, we will release the predictions for week 3? Week
Yep.
3.
Week
There we
3.
go. Thank you again. We'll see you next week.
It just means more.
Go Gators.